Welcome back to This Week. I'm pleased to be joined by Natisha Brooks. She is a Republican candidate for the office of mayor here in Nashville. Natisha has some experience at this. She's twice run for Congress with the Republican nomination, a Christian conservative constitutionalist. Welcome. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
Talk a little bit about this job. What is it that tells you you're the right person at this point in time to lead this city?
It is time to make history. Let's, for the first time, send an educator, a teacher, to the office of mayor. All these years, all my life, I've always heard, we're going to do this for the teachers, we're going to do this for the teachers, we're going to do this for the teachers. They only talk about the teachers until it's voting time. After our vote, then we don't hear anything about the teachers anymore. But I would like to give some credit to the past mayor. There was a salary increase of the teachers. I like to give where credit is due. However, with the salary increase also came COVID, also came inflation, also came the high rent, and here we go. And then, last but not least, you doubled our taxes. So I don't want teachers that serve Nashville to have to live anywhere else besides Davidson County.
All of your success will rely on relationships, your relationship with the Metro Council, your staff, your cabinet members. You have to have a relationship with the state. How do you rebuild the burned bridge between the state and Nashville? How do you keep the authority of the mayor's office, the authority of the Metro Council, the authority of the city, and work with the state?
Well, I like to say that I have a good relationship with the state already. Senator Pody, Representative Kingsley, Senator Hensley. I have a relationship, Sapinski, even on the Democrat side, Reverend Harold Love Jr. He's an AME minister in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, where I'm a member. So I like to say that I have a relationship on both sides, but I also want to finalize the statement with that these things happen. I think everybody needs to turn the temperature down a little bit and let's shake hands and move on with the business of the city and state. I like to say that I have a good relationship. Governor Bill Lee knows me, his staff knows me. And so I think you need to send a leader up there that already knows the team. I walk the halls of the legislature all the time. They're always welcoming me, welcoming my ideas. And so I like to say that I already have a relationship with the state.
Whoever wins this election has to win the trust of the voters.
Yes.
And the voters right now don't trust a lot of politicians. What do you say to them to win over that trust, to say you can trust me to be a leader in this city?
Well, I'm not a politician yet, but as an educator for over 32 years, I've earned the trust of parents and their children. So I say to that, if parents and students in the community have trusted me for this many years with their families, their organizations, their nonprofits, you can trust me to lead. I like to say that I'm not just going to be the mayor of the city, I want to be the mother of Nashville too. I want to guide and protect Nashville through the big things that are about to happen.
If you get into office, there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed: mass transit, education, crime, guns. Let's say you can be successful at reducing or eliminating one issue. What would be the issue you would attack?
The first issue, I say this all the time, and I've been saying it on my social media for probably years now. All roads leads to mental health. The issue I want to tackle, we're in the Bible Belt. We have a church on every corner. I would like some of these taxpayers' dollars that we're using, and when you know the Titan Stadium deal just passed, I'd like to see some of those funds being used for mental health clinics. Because as you well know, Bob, a lot of insurances do not kick in for psychiatric services. They don't cover that. So I would like to see free mental health services for those that can't afford it. That's my #1 issue I want to attack.
Natisha Brooks, candidate for mayor of Nashville. Our conversation will continue in a moment. Stay with us. This Week continues when we come back. Welcome back to This Week in my conversation with Nashville Mayoral candidate Natisha Brooks. Nice to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about, you talked about education and the importance of education. How do you make up for this new school funding formula from the state, which moves money with the students and not necessarily to the district. Nashville's district, the Metro School District, will actually get fewer dollars if they lose students. How do you make up for that revenue?
That's a good question. One thing I'm going to do, I'm going to work with Nashville Education Fund Corporation. It's a foundation, I'm sorry. I learned so much from them. They told me, Natisha, the first thing we need to do, besides tackling the money, is that we need more minority teachers in the field of education. We would like to work with you on that. And then as we see that more minorities are working with our students, then maybe the dollars will increase as we go along. I'm not happy with that dollar to student ratio right now. And this, once again, is where we can come in. You've got to have somebody that can work with the state legislature to get up there and push more money. I'm that candidate to push more money for Nashville, Davidson County. I've been here for a minute. My kids have been here. Trevecca, Belmont. It's very important that we don't allow the state to take over our school. So that's why it's important. I want to work with the state legislature and get more money for that.
Couple of issues. What's your view of mass transit? What does Nashville need to do for a mass transit system that we can expect to be in place 5-10 years from now?
Well, I will tell you, I am an advocate. Before I say that, let me preface this. It's not what I want, it's what the voters want. But I would love to see Amtrak come back, one. Number two, I would love to see something going from Murfreesboro, Wilson County. It is almost, and people, since I'm talking to teachers and those that hire teachers, got to be patient for us for them to get to school. But I would like to see private dollars, if we can get private, and then I would like, as mayor, to have a organization, a grant department. If we can get grants and private investors in this mass transit, I am all for it. I just don't want to pass it to the taxpayer. But if we do, we put it to a ballot, I will say I'm for it. But it's not what I want, it's what the taxpayers want.
Metro Police Chief John Drake, I think, is doing a really terrific job here in Nashville, but he is also battling an increase in crime, an increase of gun thefts, juvenile crime, juveniles with guns, increase in violence downtown. What do you do to help Chief Drake address that issue?
I had a personal conversation with Chief Drake when I was running for the 5th Congressional District as the Republican candidate, and he told me I don't need our beds for mental health patients. This is one reason we have to get back to sending someone that can work with the Tennessee legislature. I know Governor Lee said at the State of the State address $50,000 a year per teacher. It's not enough. I'm looking at a budget of $70,000 for teachers and police officers. If the money is there for police officers and teachers to be able to live here, have a living here, then we can get more. I think we're down 200 or so police officers. Yes, we need to do something. But when I talk to people that want to get into the field, want to get into education, they can't afford it. So to Chief Drake, I am fighting for you whether we win this race or not. We will be walking the legislative halls for the next State of the State address to get that salary up.
Just a few seconds left. What do you like to say to the voters of Nashville that Natisha Brooks is the person that should be representing this city?
Natisha Brooks should be the person to represent this city, one, because all roads leads to mental health. We have to tackle mental health. We have to, and also we do need to tackle the conversation of gun control. The other thing is our police officers that keep us safe, our teachers, all careers leads through education. And then last but not least, Nashville, to be the it city, we have to make sure that the people that build this city are able to live in the city that they built. Natisha for Nashville.com. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for your questions.
Natisha Brooks, candidate for mayor of Nashville. Good luck with your campaign, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Stay with us. This Week continues in a moment.